Alright, YouTube, welcome back to Let's Play Long Live the Queen with your host, MikailCaboose. I realize it's been quite a long time since I've recorded again, and I apologize for that, but it's been a bad week and a busy week, or 2 weeks, really. So lots of stuff going on, I didn't really have the time or the mood for it. But anyways, all is well. Kind of. And, last time, things weren't quite going so well. Sadly enough. Things were getting rather tense, rather distraught, and, I believe we're at war. So, let's see. Skills. Naval strategy isn't going to do any good anymore, so I guess logistics and sword. Let's just get right down to this. Alright. Are you above 50? Well, you're above 50. Alright. New supplies in the field? Perfect. And, perfect! You mastered swordplay. That is exactly what I would want from you. Anyways, let's see what's going on. The invasion of Nova is proceeding. Your coastline is under Shanjian control. Soldiers have marched through villages, trampling fields, and frightening citizens. Oh god. A diplomatic delegation from Shanjia has requested access to the castle to discuss terms, most likely for your surrender. You lack the strength to hold off their armies, and surrendering now will save many lives. It would seem that you have no choice. You prepare yourself as best you can to meet the representatives from Shanjia. You expected diplomats and a military representative, a general or an admiral. You did not expect a handsome man decked in jewels who now stands before you. A man announced by your servants as Togami, king of Shanjia. Is he really their king? Why would a king come all the way here? Oh no! I failed sensing magic! My dear young lady, how difficult this must be for so much responsibility at such a tender age. You yearn to slap the false sympathy off his oily face, but you force yourself to remain calm. War benefits no one, don't you think? Such terrible waste. Better to settle things in a civilized manner. A contest, a game, so to speak, with Nova as the stakes. Should I win, then your domain will submit and accept me as overlord with no further resistance. Should I lose, then my army will leave your domain in peace and shed no more blood. What sort of game? It is well known that Nova is ruled by lumens. As it happens, I too possess the power of a lumen. I propose a formal duel, my power against yours. The winner takes control of Nova, the loser dies. Your game by your rules for my life. That doesn't sound fair to me. The rules of formal dueling have been passed down for centuries and must be upheld. It is important that we do this by the ancient codes. Why should I? If you refuse, then the war will continue. I'll sweeten the deal. If you meet me in a formal lumen challenge, I'll call off the invasion even if I win. Really? I swear it by the gods, Nova will be free and safe. Why take that risk? You're winning the war. It's not your land that I want, it's your crystal. To gain your power, I am willing to wager my own. Shall we begin? I don't like the failing at sensing magic and all of this. But I think I'm pretty good with magic. So, let's accept. Then I must. Explains the rules of formal dueling, including a carefully inscribed circle of wards which will contain the effects of any powers you wield, protecting bystanders from danger. And then it is time to begin. You trade attacks, one spell sensed and countered by another, reserving your strength as much as possible. It might almost be exciting if your life weren't on the line. But then one seemed so weak and harmless that it wasn't even worth blocking latches onto. Then cold and begins to drain your strength. First a tiny trickle, then more, the spell gaining power as you lose it. You react quickly, not by feeding power into the spell to overload it. It would drain you to the point of death. Instead, you concentrate on gathering your strength inside yourself, pulling it away from the spell's grasp. Then you will hold that energy inside yourself and wait until the spell dies away on its own. You open your eyes and grin at the shocked expression on Togami's face. He never expected you to survive that one. You need to end this quickly before his experience allows him to continue up with a trick you can't defeat. He's used to dealing with magical attacks, but he might not be expecting a physical one. Perhaps if you rushed him, you could take him off guard. Up close, he couldn't use his fancy spells, but what would you do then? You still have to use magic to win. You can't just grab him and bang his head against the floor. Perhaps you could focus your power into the shape of a sword and attack him with that. Or maybe, if you could distract him somehow, you could cast a spell that he couldn't block. Magic sword! Motes of shimmering moonlight coalesce into a weapon in your hand. Your first lunge he dodges, rolling to the ground, but you recover quickly and strike again. In the confined space of the warded circle, there was nowhere for him to run. The final strike of your moonblade parts his head from his shoulders. You have won. Woohoo! Okay. I don't know what to do now. So, maybe I should pressured. Let me try that. The barracks stand largely empty. What remains of your army is scattered. Ouch. Well, okay. So we have a bonus to expression. Where's expression? There's expression. And animal handling. I think I need expression, actually. So let me get some decoration. I'm gonna try for expression and conversation, but I don't know what does what. So, right now let me just get decoration. And some instrumentality. And, outfit. Well. What time are we at? Oh, we're fine. Ah, the war is over! Aha! Showed that king who's boss! And now we just go back to class. Like nothing at all ever happened. Our army didn't totally get crushed. Our navy didn't get destroyed. Our land didn't get invaded at all. Nope! Alright, nature of beauty. And tap out chiming dyads on the glockenspiel. Now what? Once you defeated the king of Shanji in a duel, the invasion was meant to be over. In practice, it is not quite so easy to expel a foreign army from your lands, particularly when their leadership is falling apart. The remaining Shanjian generals seem surprisingly eager to go home and left without a fuss, but a large number of soldiers have broken rank and run amok, looting and pillaging their way through Nova just for fun. A number of royal holdings have been damaged and valuables stolen. Not only do you lose them, but you'll have to pay for repairs. With so many renegades on the loose, Nova seems likely to have severe bandit problems for years to come. Damn it! Ah, no! Ah, no, so bad. It's actually good if I get yielding, isn't it? I need yielding. Sending a court's not fun, but you know, it has to happen. So, I don't think logistics is going to help anymore, so I'm just going to keep doing expression and get decoration up. So, we shall continue like this. You practice sketching fruits and flowers with charcoal and parchment, and study the theory of color, how they complement and contrast, and how to select colors to emphasize a mood. Voices up. Alright. Uh-oh. There's something going on that no one wants to tell you about. Servants avoid your eyes and scurry away. Ministers converse in low, worried tones. Yet as far as you can tell, your territory is secure. No more attacks are underway, so it could be wrong. You lie awake in bed at one night, worrying that perhaps all your choices have been the wrong ones. Time has slipped by you so quickly. Only 2 weeks remain before your birthday celebration and your official coronation as queen. Have you done enough to build a stable Nova? It is traditional for the palace to provide entertainment and refreshment for the common people when a new monarch is crowned. It is a rare opportunity for the poor of the land to dine like nobles. The size and scope of any such feast depends on what expense the royal treasury is willing to bear. Let's have a respectable feast. I'm sure we can afford to give everyone in the city some bread and sausage and a bit of cake. Yeah, we're probably not too good for money. Alright, you need to not be pressured. Actually. So what's the opposite of pressured? Lonely. Okay, so you need to be lonely, you need to be cheerful. Perfect! Playing with toys is perfect. Feel better. Uh-oh. Adna, you're ruining my stuff. You need to not be pressured. You're messing with my groove. Get more instruments. Alright. Phooey. And that's as high as I can get them. Uh-oh. You awaken to the sound of chanting outside the castle. You stick your head out the window and see what's happening, then withdraw with a gasp. The peasants are rebelling! Hundreds, maybe thousands of them with spears and pitchforks and torches, all screaming for your removal. And here you are in your tower with your armies depleted from the recent war. Of course, you do have an advantage over the mob. You are a lumen. Do you dare turn your powers on your own people? Oh. Oh dear. How about I drop a save? Bloody peasants. I think that's right. Bloody peasants! Bloody peasants! Get off my lawn! You refuse to cower like a frightened rabbit. You will march out to them openly and show them that you have the power of the gods behind you. What could be difficult against soldiers in armor is instead ridiculously easy against untrained peasants. You barely have to wave your hand and people fall away, screaming and covered in burns. After only a few minutes, the crowd breaks and flees in panic, leaving behind only the wounded too slow to get out of the way of the stampede. I swear, you bloody peasants. More playing with toys. Calm down to the excitement of the day. I think... Ah! There you go! Ow. I thought yielding would give real conversation. Oops. Okay, afraid? Yeah, voice and then declaration, right? Yes. Alright. Perfect. A new outfit unlocked. And experimenting with wax. This time last year, you were celebrating your 14th birthday. You were in the school garden, surrounded by your friends. A teacher brought you tea and cakes, while a wealthy merchant's son wove a crown of flowers for your head. It didn't matter so much that you were a princess then. Your title was something for the future. Many of your peers would be duchesses or earls or the like someday, but not then. You were children. Your parents could not attend on the actual day, but they did send wonderful gifts. Some for you and some for you to share. And a week later they came for a visit, and your mother took you with her through the countryside in a splendid carriage. It was the last time you would ever see her. You wonder if, wherever she is, she can see you now. You are 15 years old, a legal adult. You have worked hard and studied and suffered and prepared, and now the time has come. You kneel before the priestess, barely hearing her words as she recites the blessings. She calls upon the gods to deliver peace, wisdom, and prosperity to you, and through you to all of Nova, and then she calls upon you for your oath of rulership. Will you guide and govern and protect your people to the best of your ability, according to law and custom? I will. Will you, to the best of your power, uphold the ideals of love, honor, justice, and mercy? I will. Lords and ladies assembled, I present to you your undoubted queen, who has sworn you her loyalty. You who have come to give homage, will you do the same? One at a time, the head of each duchy approaches your throne and kneels to swear his or her service to you and your heirs. People of Nova, I give you Elodie, daughter of Fidelia, your true sovereign. What say you all? Long live the Queen! Once his daughter was secure on her throne, Yoselin returned to his birthplace to focus on his duties as Duke of Caloris. He was pursued by many women, but showed little interest in remarrying, directing them instead to his brother, the Duke of Mazomba. The subject of magic and lumens remained a slightly uncomfortable one for the citizens of Nova, perfectly fine for the Queen, who had inherited it by divine right, but not something that other people should be aspiring towards. Look at all the terrible things that happened when that power fell into the wrong hands. As an openly acknowledged lumen, Juliana, Duchess of Ursul, was met with public suspicion whenever she journeyed outside of her duchy. At times, that suspicion was accompanied with thrown vegetables. It did not matter that Elodie supported her fully as a member of the noble court. That only led the commoners to whisper that Juliana was a bad influence on their queen. Juliana's perpetually unmarried state was even more worrying to those with wagging tongues. What if that influence rubbed off on the queen and left Nova with no heir? After the failed invasion, relations with Shangia remained tense. First came the reclamations and demands from the Queen of Shangia, devastated by the death of her husband, which Elodie ignored. Next came the subtler approaches, the quiet gratitude and offers for alliances from ministers who were thrilled to see Togami gone. Elodie ignored those also, which was just as well, since the next thing to arrive was the preserved head of one of those traitorous ministers, sent by the Queen of Shangia as a warning. There was no sign of war in the immediate future, but there was not likely to be alliance either. Years later, when both were adults, Elodie, Queen of Nova, and Adair, Duke of Eloth, were married. The entire week of public celebrations was set aside for the wedding, and both bride and groom paraded through the capital on fine white horses from the east. Their relationship often seemed to be more one of friends and companions than passionate lovers, but they brought stability to Nova. Elodie developed a deep interest in the hidden lore of Nova. Why had no one properly dealt with the problem of the old forest? What happened to the lumen crystals of the Novan nobles of the past? The answers she found would surprise her, particularly the artifact trove her father had been hiding from her all this time. Deciding that lost was no less dangerous than found, Elodie made it her goal to round up and catalog all of the magical weapons and dangers of old Nova. And thus Queen Elodie's legacy stretched into the future. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. But there we have it. Long live the Queen, finally! After several videos, quite a few videos, after war and turmoil, betrayal and death after death and oopses, we finally have a queen, and she's not too bad. She's not horribly evil and she's not overly weak, but she is a queen, and that means a success. I might go through and play a different way. I might focus less on magic and more on diplomacy, or I don't know. Maybe win that naval siege if it's at all possible. I don't know. So many different ways that it could be played technically, and so many different events that can go all sorts of different ways. Maybe we could try an evil queen. I don't know how that would work. But I've blabbered on for quite long enough. I'm sorry if this is the only video I upload today, but, well, I find myself a little bit busy. So, I'm glad you all sat through and watched these videos of mine. Thank you very much for sticking through with this series with me, and until next time, this has been Let's Play Long Live the Queen. Farewell.